Hi, my name is Mary McHugh, and welcome to this short and sweet video of how to breathe functionally. So this is the first of many videos, and the most important for the foundation for your breath. This is the breath to come back to after any other breath technique that we'll move through together. So one thing to keep in mind is that your lungs and the way you breathe is like the maestro for the body orchestra. So when we're breathing quickly, that's influencing every single system in the body to either compensate or move quicker to make sure that it's aligned with the breath. And we can get into a habit and pattern of over-breathing consistently, even when it's not necessary. So one way to think about your breath is that the way we're breathing is preparing us for energy expenditure in the moment and the foreseeable future. So when we're at rest, we actually don't need to be breathing very much. One of my favorite quotes from the book Breath by James Nestor is that we need to breathe less more often and more occasionally. So this technique is about breathing less. Now, one of the ways that we will move into our functional breathing is to first differentiate the way we can breathe, meaning the belly, the ribs, and the chest. There's a lot of sympathetic receptors in the chest, which is why when we are panicked or in fear in our stress response, we breathe primarily in the chest, and that actually escalates the fear response. So what we need to do is practice breathing more from the belly, where there's more parasympathetic receptors. So neither one of these is better or worse than the other. It's just knowing what appropriate breath is needed for the moment. And again, at rest, when you're safe, really learning how to cultivate the belly breath is vital. So one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart or chest. And for a few breaths here, breathing through the nose, you're going to inhale to feel your belly inflate, your hand will lift, and then ribs expand like a bell, and then at the top of your breath, you'll feel your chest inflate. And then slowly exhaling, feeling chest, ribs, and belly depress. So do that for a few rounds. And we are in this practice trying to really fill the lungs, waking up the intrinsic core and the respiratory muscles. Again, differentiating the different parts of our breath so that we can integrate and be more clear on what a belly breath truly is. So you may notice that if you're not generally a belly breather, that this is really difficult. It takes practice to relax the belly, to let go. Leaning against a wall or laying on the ground or putting a block or a sandbag on your belly could be helpful as well to get a little bit more feedback. So continue doing that for a few more rounds just to feel how full you can breathe and how full the belly can be before the chest even lifts. And as we prepare to soften the breath, something to keep in mind is that adult lungs can fill 4 to 6 liters per breath. That's the capacity of the lungs. And at rest, we really only need to be breathing about 500 milliliters of breath, which is a small amount compared to how full those lungs can get. A good breath is also through the nose. It is slow and soft. It's not making any noise. And in general, we want to aim for 6 to 12 breaths per minute. So that could be a count of 5.5 to 6 seconds on the inhale and exhale, or it could be shorter, could be a little longer. So when you're ready, begin slowing your breath down and shortening it a little bit. So not breathing to your fullest capacity anymore. Really allowing your belly to expand and see if you can stop before your hand starts to lift very much at all. It could be helpful to count your breath. Gives you another anchor into the present moment and to notice your rhythm. Let's do a few more of those soft, slow, smooth breaths. Well done. So that's the basics on what a functional breath is. And as we continue this breath journey of all the various ways we can breathe to support ourselves in shifting states and regulating our nervous system, again, this is the breath to come back to. It's how to breathe before you do a breath practice. It's how to breathe after, so that you're really ensuring that you come back into that calm, relaxed state and coherency. Thanks for joining me.